Need computer training for a group or office? Contact us today to get a free demo of our training at www.teachucomp.com/enterprise-licensing. To apply or change the various visual effects settings for a selected image, click the Effects category icon within the Format Picture task pane. First, start by making sure your image is selected so that the Format tab will appear in the ribbon. Then open up the Format Picture task pane and make sure that the Effects category icon is clicked. You can click the Shadow category grouping to expand it and display the options that you have for applying a shadow to your selected image. You can apply one of the preset shadow styles from the Presets drop-down. To customize a shadow, start by choosing a shadow color from the Color drop-down. You set the transparency of the shadow by using the Transparency slider. You can also enter percentage into the spinner box or use the arrows located at the right side of the spinner box. You can set the size of the shadow by selecting a percentage from the Size slider. You can use the Blur slider to set the amount of blurring applied to the edge of the shadow. You can angle the shadow by entering the desired angle into the Angle text box or by moving the slider to the desired setting. You can control the amount of vertical offset that is applied to the shadow by using the Distance slider to set the amount measured in points of vertical offset to apply. The next category is the Reflection category. Click it to make sure that it opens so you can see your settings, and then choose a reflection from the Presets drop-down. Use the Transparency slider, the Size slider, the Blur slider, and the Distance slider to set the different effects. These effects are very similar to the shadow effects and the Shadow slider and spinner boxes. To turn the reflection off, choose the No Reflection command using the Presets drop-down. You can click the Glow category grouping to expand it if needed and display the options you have for applying or altering any glowing effects to your selected image. You can apply a preset glowing effect by selecting one from the Presets drop-down and choosing your variation and color. And then you can customize it by using the Color, Size, and Transparency buttons. You can click the Soft Edges category to expand it and display the options that you have for applying or altering any soft edges applied to your image. You can apply a preset soft edge by selecting one from the Presets drop-down. You can also enter your desired value into the Size spinner box or use the adjacent slider to create a custom soft edge for your image. You can click the 3D Format category grouping to expand it if needed and display the options that you have for applying or altering any 3D effects applied to your image. Use the top bevel and bottom bevel drop-down buttons to select a style and thickness of beveling to apply. You can then enter values into the adjacent width and height spinner boxes for each beveling style to alter the width and height of the selected beveling style if desired. Use the Depth color drop-down to select a color for the beveling depth. You can also set the depth amount by using the adjacent Size spinner box. Likewise, use the Contour drop-down to select a color for the beveling contour. You can also set the contour amount by using the adjacent Size spinner box. Use the Material drop-down to select the type of material that the 3D effect should emulate. Then use the Lighting drop-down to select an intensity and style of lighting to apply. Then use the Angle spinner box to set the angle of the lighting if desired. If you wish to reset your image after applying any 3D formatting that you do not like, you can click the Reset button at the bottom of this category. This will remove any of the 3D formatting. You can click the 3D Rotation category to expand it and display the options that you have for applying or altering any 3D rotation effects to the selected image. You can apply a 3D rotation by selecting one from the Presets drop-down. You can then create or alter selected 3D rotation using the other settings displayed within the category grouping. You can enter a rotation angle for the X, Y, and Z rotation into the spinner boxes or by clicking the adjacent rotation buttons. If you selected a perspective style from the Presets drop-down, you can enter an angle into the perspective spinner box. If applying a 3D rotation to a text box, you can keep the text appearing flat by checking the Keep Text Flat checkbox. This setting does not apply to pictures, however, and will therefore be unavailable if you have a picture selected. You can use the Distance from Ground spinner box to set the amount of space that the selected object will appear to be from the ground. If you wish to reset your image after applying any 3D rotation that you do not like, you can click the Reset button. You can click the Artistic Effects button to expand it, and then apply an artistic effect to the selected image. Here you can choose an artistic effect that you want to apply to the image from the Artistic Effects drop-down. For each individual artistic effect selected, the options that are then shown in the area below will vary depending upon which particular effect was selected. Most will have the ability to set the transparency of the effect by using the slider. You will also probably have one or two other slider settings for each effect that you can change in order to alter the impact of the selected artistic effect. Just as when applying 3D effects, there is also a Reset button at the bottom of this section that you can click to reset any artistic effect changes made to the selected picture. Like what you see? Get a free demo of our training for groups of 5 or more at www.teachucomp.com/enterprise-licensing.